all just a dream, just all in my head.
Hey, I just wanted to hop on for a minute. I wanted to talk a little bit about my own personal health journey. I've had a lot of time to reflect this weekend. I actually got my degrees in the mail today, which was exciting. It was kind of like the culmination of all that hard work. And it got me reflecting on how far I've come. I started in my probably teens eating pretty much whatever I wanted, right? Which in those days were lots of Cheetos and Gushers and so much processed food. Lots of processed food, lots of fast food. I've always had a sweet tooth, and I still do. I think that's one thing that a lot of people fail to really embrace, is like the way that we like to eat is very, very hard to change. So I've really worked at trying to find better options for things that bring me joy. So, great example. My coffee, I'm probably never going to stop drinking coffee, but whereas I used to buy a lot of coffees from coffee stands or pre-made things, I buy organic, equal source beans that, I feel good about buying on the equal exchange because they're not furthering global inequality, and they just kind of, just the little baby steps that add up over time. So organic coffee every single time. I used to drink 2 of those big 32-ounce coffee mate creamers a week, which is a ton. It's a ton of sugar. It's a ton of hydrogenated oils and just so many chemicals that my body really was not liking. I transitioned from that into organic half and half, and I did that for a long time, and I did that just with raw turbinado sugar, and that worked for a long time. But then as I transitioned away from animal products entirely, I switched to oat milk. And so it took me a while. I tried coconut milk, and I tried almond milk, and I tried all these different combinations of multiple milks. Finally, what I found is Oatly, and Oatly is my favorite. There's a couple other oat milks that I like. I seem to prefer oat milk out of the other options. And so now that is what I drink, and so it still brings me joy, and I still have my coffee, but it's come a long ways from, my Starbucks Frappuccinos or my iced mocha breves. That was totally my jam when I was pregnant. Which, if you don't know what that is, it is Hershey's syrup and straight half and half and a shot of espresso. Not so good for you. So, my point being, the pictures that I'm sharing today are very obvious of my transition. So, the first picture, I am pregnant. I was just diagnosed with gestational diabetes. I had no idea what to do. I remember crying on my couch and eating microwaved frozen broccoli because I had no idea what to eat. And the night before my gestational diabetes test, my glucose test, I had a Baskin-Robbins peanut butter cup sundae giant sugar-laden ice cream. So looking at my face, I see so much sadness and fear, and I was lost. I didn't know what to do, but I knew that I was pregnant, and I didn't want to put my poor choices onto my child. So pregnancy was really a turning point for me. It got me thinking about, if this stuff is okay when you're not pregnant, why is it not okay when you are? I mean, arguably it would still be affecting the body, right? So, my point being that often I post all my foods that I eat and our plant-based lifestyle and all of these things that I know in the beginning sound like way out there, and a lot of times it feels like it's so far from where you are now that it's almost impossible or just too far out. And so I just wanted to take a chance to hop on and say, it's not where I started. It's not even close. I definitely started from a very different place. And as I compare pictures of myself, I can see, in my skin tone and in my inflammation. Oh my gosh, I was so inflamed in all my old pictures that I see. And diet and lifestyle have really made a huge difference for me, but it's been a long journey. My daughter that I had gestational diabetes with will be 10 in December. And that picture was taken in October. I got diagnosed with diabetes on Halloween Day, which was awesome. Being a candy junkie like I was devastated. I'm like, I'm pregnant and I can't have candy, and Thanksgiving is coming, and what about Christmas? And I just remember feeling so hopeless. So, funny thing, 10 years later, almost to the month, here I am with these degrees, with a different mindset, living a different lifestyle, and really enjoying a completely different state of health. So, there's a little bit about myself. Ultimately, with this channel, my hope is to share all the different ways that I have found to create a healthier and more holistic life. And it really, it's so broad in terms of, your lifestyle choices and finding those things that ground yourself and feed your soul, which, as you guys know, I've done a few plant videos already, and you can see behind me, I love my plants. And that's kind of my, quiet reflection. It allows me the time to enjoy nature and be with it, even though I live in the Great Northwest, which, starting about now until probably the end of April, is not all that lovely outside that often. It gets pretty wet after a while. So I enjoy my houseplants for that reason. They give me a chance to really just, take a breath and take a moment. And so that is one of my biggest stress release. So that's the reason I share it with you guys a lot. I want to share food and recipes and realistic ways to gently change your life, to leave you feeling better and replenished and more nourished. Another important part to me is the things we surround and put on our body. So if you know me personally, you know that I have been a hairstylist for 10, 11, 12 years. I don't even remember now. And before that, I worked as a nail tech. So I have worked in a salon since I was 18 years old. I grew up in a salon. I've been around hair products, color, bleach, nails, the whole thing my whole life. And so when I became pregnant, again, that was really a turning point for me. And I started to reevaluate, like, well, what is the fragrance in this perfume, and what effect does that have on my body? And what about this lotion, and how's that going to, absorb through the most large absorbent organ in our body, right? And so what you put on your body and what you surround your body with really makes a big difference in overall health. So I talk a lot about, a holistic home and holistic beauty, stress management, which again, they all are so synergistic, right? You talk about those few moments for yourself, and sometimes that is getting your hair done or taking a shower. If you're a mom, you know that that's like the best thing ever, and it's often eventful. So just trying to provide a multitude of tools for you to find your way to your best self.
They say time is a healer.